was the summation of the August 6th meeting of the Borough Town Council, 2007. Meeting started with a short presentation by someone involved with ovarian cancer. Apparently they want to put ribbons on trees, and the council didn't have any objection to that. It probably happened around September 1st, and to coincide with the parade. So we're just basically in the historic district or in the center of town, roads contingent to the center of town. Next item discussed was the budget process. The borough administrator has been developing some new plan. Basically the plan will be that the council will have a couple of Saturday meetings. They won't be open to the public, where the committee heads and whatnot will discuss different sticking points regarding the budget. There was some discussion of some tax adjustments, a resolution. I don't know exactly what the amounts were. One resolution seemed to contain a lot of adjustments, so I don't know what the total has been overall. There was another resolution to acknowledge the help of a couple of public works employees who helped out when the superintendent was retired, and they're both getting $1,000 for their trouble. There was a salary resolution, a couple of them actually. One of them involved the chief of police and his secretary for pay increases, I guess. I would say that the public employees are a bit overpaid as it is. It was reported that the pole barn at the sewage plant has begun construction on that. There was some discussion regarding the fact that there might be a third session in the municipal court might be necessary. The council actually discussed the idea that maybe they should be given reports regarding what the court actually accomplishes. How many cases are settled, what kind of revenue is created. It was stated that most revenue from traffic violations goes to the state, so the only revenues the town gets are usually for ordinance violations. It was also discussed that the township might be putting a heavier burden on the court system than the borough, and they are splitting the costs, and not proportionately, and that it might be reasonable to look into that. There was some talk of conservation easements and the fact that some property owners might not be aware that they have one on their property, and that they have certain obligations to maintain those easements and not to cut down trees and whatnot. There was brief discussion of some sign issues regarding the new ordinance regarding temporary signs in front of businesses. Apparently there's a couple of businesses that haven't complied with the ordinance yet. There was some mention of the state pension fund, that their contribution, the town will have to make a significant, dozens of thousands of dollars, I don't know, 100,000, whatever it is altogether, but it really is a substantial amount of money. These employees are paid, as it is, salaried, well in excess of the fair market, and on top of that they get these preposterous benefits. I mean, every month we're paying hospital costs for people who were employed by the borough 20 years ago. It's crazy. There was some discussion of the fact that the town has a village center designation by the state. Apparently that's expiring, and we have to file a new application to reestablish that designation. Apparently it lasts for 12 years. Wasn't really clear about exactly what the benefits are, and there was some talk of having to refile a master plan or some other nonsense. But the perks are maybe some grant money, maybe some better interest rates on some sewage debt, but beyond that, no specifics. It was mentioned that the Public Works Department, I guess they're hiring a new employee, and that it was stated that there's an intention to try to in-house more work, so they're trying to find employees that have specific skills. Brief mention that there's, I guess in the executive session, there's going to be some discussion of the state versus Casey's. Apparently the Casey's is suing, and I don't know why they're the state versus, but I don't know whether it has to do with the town exactly. There was some discussion of the fire department's desire to have a coin toss as a fundraising effort, and I don't have any knowledge on what a coin toss is beyond the context of the discussion. And apparently members of the fire department go out into traffic and people throw coins at them. And there was some talk about liability issues if the town has to have an ordinance to protect itself, and the fire department apparently isn't very pleased with the limitations the ordinance creates, and so I don't know what the resolution there will be. There was brought up in the public portion of the meeting, a resident brought up concerns about the deer culling program and the fact that the signs posted throughout the parks just say September through March. They don't give any specifics about when hunters are in the park, and he'd like to have the knowledge to know if there is somebody in the park to maybe change his plans. The council was receptive, as they were in the past when he brought this issue up, but I don't know if anything will be accomplished in terms of providing some sort of mechanism to allow residents to know when hunters are actually hunting. The town lawyer, attorney, shyster, liar, did reference the previous comments I had made to the council that they've been avoiding for a year regarding their running of the cable TV channel, and he actually cited the federal statute I cited over a year ago in arguing with these people, and of course he misquoted the statute, just blatantly misquoted it, and is going to protract this even further, so here's the tape of that now.
Mayor, if I could just add that at the last meeting there was a question during the public comment portion of the meeting regarding cable TV and policies that are adopted to protect free speech rights, and I indicated that I would follow up. I've identified a section of the federal code, 47 U.S.C.A. section 531, that discusses editorial control by a cable operator, and that a cable operator shall not exercise any editorial control over any public, educational, or governmental use of channel capacity, provided that pursuant to this section, except the cable operator may refuse to transmit any public access program or portion of a public access program which contains obscene or indecent or inappropriate type of television, and it also indicates nudity. I will continue now to follow up with the Cable TV Committee to identify that such a policy exists. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, just finishing up, the borough attorney, like I said, he just throws in that little extra line, other stuff like the law says that, and it doesn't say that. Any other inappropriate anything. It doesn't say anything like that. It just says obscenity, indecency, and nudity. That's what the law says. Those are the only things you can censor or prohibit. Nothing else. And obviously I didn't submit anything with any of those 3 items in it. And for 2 years my constitutional rights have been denied by these criminals.